Welcome to WatchMojo, where we'll be looking at the best 40 moments from the entire history of Top of the Pops.
Let's play Master and Servants. Let's play Master and Servants.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 40. Madness. In 1976, ska band Madness first formed, and by the 80s, they'd become one of the biggest names in the scene. They're often credited with popularizing the two-tone ska genre. Fascinatingly, between 1980 and 86, they had songs on the charts for 214 weeks in total. They were frequently featured on Top of the Pops all the way until 2005. One of their greatest performances was of Baggy Trousers, when they were still a fresh group. It comes from Christmas 1980, which explains why they're all covered in snow. The band has great energy, doing quirky dances the whole time, making you nostalgic for the era. Number 39. The Stranglers. Our next entry has been performing since 1974 and currently seems to have no desire to stop.
Golden brown, texture like sun.
The Stranglers were formed in Surrey, then earned a reputation in the pub rock genre. In the 80s, they transitioned to making less aggressive music, which led to their mainstream success with Golden Brown in 1982.
Golden brown, fine temptress. Through the ages, she's heading west.
It became famous for leaning heavily on a harpsichord, a pretty unusual instrument for pop. The Top of the Pops performance was amazing, not just for the song, but for the impressive dancing. The dancers are all dressed in old-fashioned costumes, making you feel like you're back in 1582. Number 38. Alice Cooper. One of the most widely known tracks by American rock singer Alice Cooper is School's Out. At the time, it was a scandalous track, as the older generations believed it encouraged the youth to rebel. When Cooper appeared on Top of the Pops, he and his band did an amazing performance, teamed with energy and rebellion. It ended with Cooper holding a sword to his throat, and afterwards, many people across the nation demanded that Cooper be banned entirely. Now he's known as the godfather of shock rock, and this historical performance was one of the earliest examples of why. Number 37. The Clash with Legs and Company. London punk rockers The Clash often called themselves the only band that matters. They refused to appear on Top of the Pops since acts were required to mime their songs. The Clash believed bands should actually play their songs, so they boycotted the show. The BBC responded by playing their track Bank Robber and having their dance troupe Legs and Company do a performance. It's one of the most surreal clips from the series' history, with the dance feeling way too silly for the song. They could have just shown the music video, but the BBC preferred the more passive-aggressive option. Number 36. Pulp. In the 90s, Pulp were at the peak of their popularity, with their 1995 track Common People charting globally.
She told me that her dad was loaded. I said, in that case, I'll have a room of Coca-Cola. She said, fine.
Interestingly, they had been around since 1978, but failed to make a name for themselves in the 80s. After finally achieving mainstream success, they were invited to play Common People on Top of the Pops, which was a hilarious performance.
You never live like
A woman is dancing in a shopping trolley and the band's surrounded by pulp-themed groceries. It reflects the song's core themes, which are a critique of how the wealthy glamorize poverty. The song's lyrics were bizarrely inspired by an interaction the frontman had with a Greek finance minister's wife in college. Number 35, The Who. One of the biggest rock bands of the past century was The Who. They rose to fame in the 60s and have maintained their reputation for decades since. In 1973, they were invited onto Top of the Pops to play their new single, 515. This was 5 years before their drummer, Keith Moon, would tragically die after struggling with substance use disorder.
Inside, outside, leave me alone. Inside, outside, nowhere is home.
During his life, he earned a reputation of being extremely chaotic. This performance is a perfect example of the energy he brought to the band, with him constantly pulling faces and grooving on his kids as hard as possible. Number 34, Oasis. Manchester is super proud of the rock band Oasis, which formed there in 1991. Their two most famous members are brothers Liam and Noel Gallagher, who casual fans have a hard time differentiating between. This motivated them to pull a wacky prank when they appeared on Top of the Pops. Since it's all mimed, they decided to swap places to see if anyone noticed. The performance is hilarious, especially when Liam busts out a pretty pitiful attempt at miming a guitar solo. Even the rest of the band couldn't contain their laughter. Number 33, Adamski featuring Seal. It feels like a disservice to say that this song simply features Seal, because his voice is what makes this performance so great. That said, Adamski could have easily phoned in his synth component to the song, but instead added new elements to the beats that make it stand out from the already incredible original. It's a performance so good, they were invited to do it twice, and the Top of the Pops audience didn't realize how lucky they were to see it on the Christmas edition of the show back in 1990. Number 32, Rod Stewart. Since 1961, Stewart has been passionately making music, which has been so popular that he's one of the best-selling artists in history.
Mother, don't you recognize your son?
In the 70s, he was frequently joined by the band Faces, who often served as his backing band. Back in 1971, long before he was a household name, they were invited on Top of the Pops. It was a wonderfully energetic performance, but not enough to make it mainstream. That kind of success was only a few months away from Stewart, however. His track Maggie May was released about 3 months after this show and became an instant hit. Number 31, New Order. After the death of Joy Division frontman Ian Curtis in 1980, the group formed New Order, which went on to dominate the 80s. It's tough to forget their massive track Blue Monday, and really, why would we want to? 2 weeks after it was released in 1983, they were invited onto Top of the Pops.
How does it feel when you treat treat me like you do.
Much like Iron Maiden, they refused to mime. It was much more challenging to pull off, however, since their music leaned heavily on synthesizers and sequencers. There were multiple technical issues which caused the band to start laughing mid-performance. So, while it was a poor rendition of the track, their dedication and passion made it stick out for decades. It's not like any other new wave bands tried not miming.
Tell me, how does it feel when your heart grows cold?
Number 30, Bad Manners.
I love you, yes I do, 'cause I know that you love me too.
One way to describe this performance is bizarre. The band, who for many popularized the ska genre, came on to do their song Special Brew, and it's certainly one to watch.
I love you, yes I do, gonna spend all my money on you. Whoa, 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 whoa.
While the song opens up rather mellow, it eventually picks up with a huge burst of energy from its grass skirt-wearing members. And then, just like that, we snap back to those mellow moods. It's quite the whiplash. It's little wonder the explosive nature of the band's performances eventually got them banned from the show.
I love you, yes I do, 'cause I know that you love me too.
Number 29, The Moody Blues.
Beauty I'd always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore.
Nights in White Satin was a standout single from the band's Days of Future Past record, a defining tune for the group that straddles a creative line between heady psychedelia and proto-progressive sounds.
Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. I love you.
The combination of orchestral accompaniment for the Moody Blues rock sound was a novel idea back in '67, and it works wonderfully on stage here. Nights in White Satin is a song that makes the most of its carnivorous production style, evocative vocals, and a flute solo to end all flute solos. Truly one to watch for any fan of psychedelia, or just damn good music. Number 28, Radiohead.
2 jumps in a week, I bet you think that's pretty clever, don't you, boy?
High and Dry still stands as one of the best in Radiohead's catalogue, and when they had the opportunity to perform it on TOTP, they went all out. Its melancholic tone and lyrics might not be the best way to get fans dancing, but it still maintained everyone's attention from start to finish. Tom York wails out the lyrics directly from his heart, and it's enough to give you chills. It's not the only Radiohead TOTP performance, but it's very likely the most enrapturing. Number 27, Adam and the Ants.
You may not lie, things we do only hurt to know that you're true.
For their performance of Dog Eat Dog on Top of the Pops, Adam and the Ants showcased their energetic and theatrical style, which was a hallmark of their live shows. The song itself, released in 1980, deals with themes of survival and competition, which resonated with the new wave scenes at the time.
It's doggy, 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 doggy,
Their track had already cracked the top 10 on the charts, but this appearance on TOTP would propel them to the number 4 slot. It's an unbelievable performance and had massive implications on the rest of their careers going forward. Number 26, Wham!
Hey, sucker.
It really says something when you weren't even planned to be performing that night and you absolutely stole the show regardless. That's exactly the case with this performance of Young Guns, which saw Wham go from complete unknowns to an overnight sensation. George Michael called it a miracle phone call when they were asked to come onto the show, and they certainly made the most of the spotlight. This energetic performance proved to be an amazing launching pad for Wham, and they became the legends they're known as today. Number 25, Dexy's Midnight Runners. This one is both brilliant and daft, though the latter part is perhaps not the fault of the band. Back in 1982, Dexy's Midnight Runners were all lined up to perform their hit song Jackie Wilson Said, but standing behind them, they've instead got a massive picture of Jockey Wilson, who was one of the country's foremost darts players and at the top of his career at the time. To this day, nobody knows why this happened. It's still a mystery whether it was a total mistake by someone on the crew who believed the song was about darts, or whether the band did it themselves for a joke. They've never explained, but this performance still rocks. Number 24, Nirvana.
Load up on drugs, kill your friends as fun to the
Now we know you might be raising an eyebrow, but hear us out. As the story goes, Kurt Cobain and the gang didn't take it well when they were told they would not be performing their instruments live, and simply miming instead.
with the lights out. It's just dangerous. We are now entertainers.
This was because the TOTP studio didn't have the right acoustics for a proper performance. In protest, Cobain sang the song in a bizarre voice, which many have suggested is actually an impression of Morrissey. It's a hilarious moment in TOTP history, but it's now found an audience who absolutely loves listening to it unironically. Number 23, The Sweet. You could argue that this performance of Blockbuster epitomizes the appeal of Top of the Pops, a band throwing out their latest killer track with the whole audience in the palm of their hands.
Does anyone know the way? Did we hear someone say? We just haven't got a clue what to do.
It's little wonder that they turned up on the show to perform it, as the single had been at number 1 in the charts for 5 whole weeks. They proved that they were rivals worthy of David Bowie's wild success. Number 22, The Smiths. The Smiths' incomparable indie sound was a hit within a year of the band's formation. Their first ever television appearance was an outright cultural shift. The enchanting ballad This Charming Man was performed under ethereal pink lighting and a smoke-covered disco ball. As courageous as the progressive lyrics already were, Morrissey flirted with the camera in an open shirt while waving a bouquet.
It was a wonderfully campy broadcast of a new style in British rock and a unique expression of masculine charisma. Morrissey's autobiography later accused manager Joe Moss of plans to oust him from the band by the end of 1983. But you need only see this charming man on TOTP to recognize the Smiths as a revolutionary force. Number 21, T-Rex. Mainstream British rock needed a new image by the early 1970s. T-Rex surely had the breakout sound to secure an appearance on TOTP. This is a must-see for any fan.
Get it on, bang a gong, get it on. Get it on, bang a gong, get it on.
This song dominated charts back in '71, so it was no surprise that the band turned up on the show. While the performance itself is phenomenal, what has kept it in the minds of those who saw it happen back in the day was the surprise inclusion of Elton John on piano. It's a pitch-perfect showing and a great example of the magic that could happen on this show back in its prime.
Get it on, bang a gong, get it on.
Number 20, Mud. The artificiality of Top of the Pops makes it easy for artists to take the piss. The glam rock group Mud took a different approach back in 1974, however, and had a little bit of fun at the same time.
Your tiger feet. Your tiger feet. Your tiger feet.
Mud invited their roadies on stage to devise a dance number alongside the band's performance of Tiger Feet. Top of the Pops was well known for having dancers showcased while a band was playing, and perhaps Mud was poking fun at the show's penchant for miniskirt wearing go-go girls with the show. The sight of Mud and their roadies dancing and bopping along to the group's hit single never fails to make us smile. Number 19, Hawkwind. The dynamic and far-out sound of Hawkwind wasn't exactly tailor-made for the Top of the Pops stage. However, their psychedelic warriors nevertheless had a charting single with their hit Silver Machine and were invited on the program. However, the band decided to eschew convention and have their performance broadcast from a live show in Dunstable. The actual audio was from the single version, but the video performance showcased Hawkwind in all of its surreal and atmospheric glory. The heavy riffs and hypnotic percussion of Silver Machine is amplified by future Motorhead man Lemmy on lead vocals, as well as Stasia's interpretive dancing and Bubbles. Far out, man. Number 18, Jethro Tull. One of the great things about Top of the Pops was how it genuinely reflected the occasionally quirky state of British musical charts. How else could we explain the presence of folky progressive rock heroes Jethro Tull appearing on the program?
He's calling red, yellow, brown, all over sing.
The band's performance of The Witch's Promise was very much indicative of Tull's earlier jazzier roots, combined with their aforementioned folk influence.
Frontman Ian Anderson looks like a man possessed as he mimes along to the track, a feeling that's doubly expressed as the clips turn freaky around the 2-minute mark. The psychedelic lighting just adds to the strange atmosphere of the Top of the Pops audience dancing around to such artful and commercially reticent progressive rock. Number 17, Cameo. Sometimes it's not so much about the performance on Top of the Pops, but what the group is wearing. This idea definitely applies to American funk group Cameo, whose lead singer devised a definite talking point with his wardrobe choice. Lead vocalist Larry Blackman wasn't exactly a stranger to codpieces prior to taking on the Top of the Pops stage in 1986, but this did little to dilute the impact of this visual cue. Of course, it helps that the camera pretty much hones in on Blackman's nether regions as the band moves up, putting that bright red codpiece front and center. Elsewhere, Cameo's group choreography is on point, and this performance of Word Up is made all the better for it. Number 16, Gladys Knight and the Pips. Sometimes the mimed performances of Top of the Pops actually work in the artist's favor. The inimitable Gladys Knight was very pregnant when she appeared on Top of the Pops. This might have proven difficult for the singer during any other circumstances where she was expected to perform live. Here on the Top of the Pops stage, however, it's all about the song. Knight could take it easy and mime along to the playback, while the Pips did more of the heavy lifting entertainment. The performance of Midnight Train to Georgia ended up being great. Gladys Knight looked radiant and all was well. Number 15, Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden wasn't the first band to perform live on Top of the Pops, but they were one of the earliest. The studio setting just wasn't conducive to loud pop music, never mind the heavy metal bombast of Iron Maiden. The band's amps were set to minimum as a result, while Clive Burr's drum set had to be taped down, according to former Maiden guitarist Dennis Stratton. Still, this did little to dampen the immense raw power of Running Free, as evidenced by Maiden's ferocious performance. Lead singer Paul Di'Anno is coolness personified as he rages from the front of the stage, while the band's twin guitar attack cuts through the Top of the Pops studio like a razor.
I'm running free, yeah. I'm running free. I'm running free, yeah.
It's pure heavy metal thunder. Number 14, Elton John.
Don't have much money, but boy, if I did.
Elton John's performance of Your Song was the musician's second appearance on Top of the Pops, and it's arguably his most memorable. It's very easy when discussing Top of the Pops performances to get too lost in the big and the loud. Instead, Your Song is a quiet piece, a performance that hinges upon earnestness and passion.
How wonderful life is while you're in the world.
Elton John isn't mugging for the camera or otherwise taking the piss. As a result, the seriousness with which Your Song is presented not only services Sir Elton as an artist,
Yours are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen.
it proves that Top of the Pops could serve as a genuinely moving avenue for new music to affect an audience. This one is just great.
How wonderful life is while while you're in the world.
Number 13, Roxy Music.
Make me a deal, make it straight. I'll sign and seal, I'll take it.
We're gonna continue on that Elton John line of thinking for a moment with our next entry. That's because it was this performance of Virginia Plain that arguably served as the means with which Roxy Music broke through into British musical conversation.
Sweet lamb, make believe. Baby James and Acapulco, we are flying down to Rio.
The song was their debut single, so it was this performance on Top of the Pops that could potentially make or break that single's success. Thankfully, Roxy Music more than proved up for the challenge on this night, presenting a performance that was both visually arresting and conceptually satisfying.
Last picture shows down the drive-in. You're so shit, you're so chic, teenage rebel of the week.
The band's natural artistry doesn't take away from the impact of Virginia Plain as a righteous single, but instead served to amplify just how exciting Roxy Music was back in the early 70s. Number 12, Sparks. Sparks is your favorite band's favorite band. At least that's the reputation this idiosyncratic American duo has cultivated over the years. It's easy to see why as well, since Sparks has never done things in half measure. This includes the group's performance on Top of the Pops, a strange and surreal setup that's insanely memorable. Sparks' take on "This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us" leans into their quirky performance style hard and never looks back. Is keyboardist Ron Mail's choice of facial hair deliberately confrontational? Maybe, and the camera can't help but focus on his strange, almost menacing stare into the audience, who don't seem to know exactly what to do with the song. It's wild stuff. Number 11, Queen.
In a pretty cabinet, let them eat cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette.
Top of the Pops was a place where both up-and-comers and established acts alike shared the stage. That's in part what makes the show's history so exciting. Case in point, this iconic performance from Queen back in 1974.
Well versed in etiquette, extraordinarily nice. She's a killer queen, got body gelatine.
The band had appeared on the stage before, performing 7 Seas of Rye, but this one showcases Queen in true regal form. The lighting, the atmospheric fog, Freddie Mercury's outstanding stage getup, it's all just perfect.
She's a killer queen, got body gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam.
It's a great way to present the Queen package to a home audience, without taking away from the studio excellence of the song. Killer Queen indeed.
Insatiable and appetite. Wanna try?
Number 10, Spice Girls, Wannabe. We take the Spice Girls 100% seriously. No, stop laughing and hear us out. There's a sense of pride in knowing that millions of people tuned in to watch their performance of Wannabe on Top of the Pops back in 1996. Pride in how the Cool Britannia era wasn't only a success at home, but a crossover success abroad, with girl power becoming a rallying cry for pop music fans around the world. The Spice Girls felt like certified stars as they reenacted their music video for the studio audience, while the lip syncing feels loose and fun without being overtly cheeky or dismissive. And that's no joke. Number 9, Blur, Country House. Speaking of Britpop, does everyone remember the back and forth between hit chart frenemies Blur and Oasis? If not, allow us to jog that memory with this Top of the Pops performance of Country House.
The band's bassist, Alex James, mugs for the camera with his Oasis shirt, while the entire band seems to be at ease and confident with their pantomime. The stage is a little crowded between the band and the horn section, but the crowd hollers for more throughout, and Blur is more than willing to play into the pop hysteria. Number 8. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax. There have been times when the visual and pantomime emphasis on Top of the Pops actually works as an asset to the artist in question, as opposed to a hindrance. Frankie Goes to Hollywood was one of those acts, since their appearance on the show actually did what it was supposed to do, increase their chart success. Relax had stalled a bit in the UK charts only 2 months prior to Frankie's gig on the show, but this performance changed everything. The crowd is obviously into it, while the band's magnetic charisma is set fully on display, a case when seeing the artist and hearing the music finally made that all-important connection with the fans. Number 7. Culture Club. Do you really want to hurt me? The landscape for out and proud LGBTQ+ performers was very different back when Culture Club took to the Top of the Pops stage in 1982. As a result, the band's appearances on Top of the Pops, including when they performed their hit Do You Really Want to Hit Me, was, for some, their first experience seeing Boy George and company in the flesh. The song's innate smoothness and laid-back reggae vibe allows George to take a visual center stage, and he absolutely made the most of his time. His stage presence is at once commanding and shy, a true rock star who nevertheless feels close enough to touch. You just can't take your eyes off him. Number 6. Slade. Mama, we're all crazy now. Man, did Slade know how to dress or what? It's easy to see and hear how the 1980s hair metal scene was influenced by these rough and tumble glam rock hooligans, both in sound and style. Slade was truly something else, and their uniqueness was set on full display as the band leaned into their lip sync of their hit Mama, We're All Crazy Now. 70s glam bands often prided themselves on looking absolutely outrageous, but Slade was on another level with their anarchic accessorizing. The music never takes backseat, however, and Mama, We're All Crazy Now offered further proof of the clever and strong sensibilities that lurked within Slade's songwriting prowess. Number 5. Tubeway Army. Are Friends Electric? It's amazing to look back and witness how ahead of the curve Gary Newman was when it came to the world of electronic music and bringing that world to the mainstream. The man's Top of the Pop appearance with his band Tubeway Army hit back in 1979 when punk rock was still raging. New wave was on the horizon, and heavy metal was poised for commercial chart supremacy. But Newman was having none of that, instead bringing to the stage a strange, stark, and stylish visual presence that was armed with some surprisingly catchy hooks. The crowd almost doesn't seem ready to hear of Friends Electric and its Kraftwerk-influenced poptronica. By the end, he seems to have them in the palm of his hand. Number 4. Shalimar. A Night to Remember. It doesn't matter whether or not you call it the backslide or the moonwalk, so long as you credit Shalimar's Jeffrey Daniel for bringing the dance move to Top of the Pops nearly a year before Michael Jackson would do so on the TV special Motown 25.
Shalimar's pop R&B sound was smooth as silk, but the TOTP performance just focuses on Daniel's righteous dance moves, a pop and lock fest that may seem retro today, but was absolutely revolutionary back in '82. Daniel brings together elements of mime and breakdancing to his performance, as the song track plays in the background, and it all works brilliantly. Because who needs a band, really? Number 3, Lennon/Ono with the Plastic Ono Band, Instant Karma.
Instant karma's gonna get you. Gonna knock you right in the head.
Part performance art, and just a wee bit strange. This sort of describes the vibe of John Lennon and Yoko Ono's Top of the Pops rendition of Instant Karma, alongside the Plastic Ono Band. Lennon's facial expression and body language appears coiled, tense, and aggressive, while Yoko's blindfolded sign routine feels indebted to Bob Dylan's subterranean homesick blues, only twice as distracting. Meanwhile, the mini-skirted mob dances about, oblivious to the performance's more artistic leanings, in deference to a little shaking of the moneymaker. Does that all fit together? No, not at all, but that's exactly what makes the performance so compelling. Number 2, Kate Bush, Wuthering Heights.
Out on the winding, windy moor, sweet roll and falling green.
It doesn't matter whether you prefer the black dress version or the white dress version of Kate Bush's Top of the Pops appearance from 1978, you win every single time. Kate was barely 20 when she decided to sing her hit Wuthering Heights live to a backing track for TOTP, but her inimitable presence is already set fully on display. Said simply, there's no one quite like Kate Bush. From her eccentric, interpretive dance moves, ethereal beauty, and absolutely massive voice, she's one of a kind, and these Top of the Pops performances solidify these notions in magical fashion. It's amazing to think that at this point, Bush's career was just getting started. Number 1, David Bowie and the Spiders from Mars, Starman.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low.
Ease, grace, outer space. David Bowie's performance of Starman for Top of the Pops was something special, a moment that changed the lives of so many kids back in 1972.
There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds.
Kids who almost immediately went out and formed bands of their own, inspired by Bowie's androgynous psychedelic form of interstellar rock and roll. The interactions between guitarist Mick Ronson and Bowie are fun to watch, as is the almost hypnotic sway of the dancing crowd.
There's a starman waiting in the sky.
It's a communal celebration of sorts, this idea that something special was occurring in that specific studio at that specific moment. Ultimately, however, it also proved one thing, that this was Bowie's world and we were just visiting. If you could have been at any single performance from Top of the Pops, which one would it be and why? Let us know in those comments below.
The ghosts of my life, no wilder than before.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.